It's a hard cock life for us. It's a hard cock life for us. Big fat penis in my face. Massive bellends all over the place. It's a hard cock life. Cock rhymes with knock. Because it's from Annie, from the famous musical Annie, about the ginger cunt, and it's because the line is it's a hard knock life. Because they're orphans and they've got a hard life, so it's a hard knock life. Instead of kisses, we get kicks. Instead of treated, we get tricks. It's a hard knock life. And it is, but I don't know if the if the initial writers of that musical realised, but turns out knock sounds a lot like cock. Cock is hard. Cock. Almost as good as why do turds suddenly appear? Or maybe it's better. What's funnier, turds or cock? One of them's funnier. I should do a poll, shouldn't I? What's funnier? I should do a poll with no context to it, without mentioning why I'm doing the poll, what it's for. Poll. Penis. Cock. Pole. Pipe. Call me Santa the way these bitches be on my North Pole. This is already going on far longer than I intended. So I'll do a poll with no context, just asking what's funnier, cocks or turds, and then people will be none the wiser as to what they're actually voting for. Voting for something very creative, obviously. That's the main bit. That's the main bit of it all. It's a very creative thing to be voting for. Last week. Oh, hello everyone. Hi. Welcome to the podcast. Hope you're all having a wonderful time. Last week I didn't have anything planned to talk about, but I figured I'm drawing Fallout. I think that was last week. I'm drawing a Fallout thing, so I'll talk about Fallout. And I had thought my aim at the time was to spend some time talking more about Fallout. I didn't have anything planned. I didn't have much to say in mind, but I just thought I'd talk about Fallout some more. You know, the new season starts soon, in a couple of months, or less, or so, or it's already been, depending on when you're watching this. So there's shit to be talking about, and then I just didn't. I can't remember what I spoke about, but it wasn't fucking Fallout. So this week's episode, I've decided I'm going to talk about one topic ad nauseum, and that's I'm going to stay on topic. Whether you like it or not, I'm just going to talk about one thing for the entire fucking episode, and that one thing's going to be cock. Oh, we all love some cock, don't we, eh? Not me, I'm not a fucking bender, I like fucking pussy. Don't really fucking imply I like cock, I like fucking cunt, I like minge, muff, fucking gash, I like fucking getting up inside it and wrecking some guts with my fucking cock. That's why I like cock. I mean, I don't like cock, but if I'm gonna like cock, I'd like fucking sticking my cock up a girl's fucking cunt and fucking her in a fucking pussy, trying to making her pregnant and then not taking responsibility for my actions and not having anything to do with the child that I fucking put inside of her and fucking let her deal with it. It's her problem. She's a fucking woman. She should fucking deal with it. You fucking bitch. Oh, you fucking talk to me around. You shall be all fucking with your children. You fucking slag. You fucking cunt. Don't you fucking talk to me. Imply I'm gay. I'm not fucking bender. I don't fucking like cock. You fucking cunt. Oh, fucking cunt. You so beautiful. Fucking Flag's not racist. It's not fucking racist. You know what you're fucking talking about, mate. You fucking... You fucking... Even if you're one of those people, you probably jerk off a lot. Probably a lot. Since they're a big bunch of jerk-offs. Just people who act like that in general. No one specific. Actually, very specific people, but we're not. That's not the... So even they like cocks. They like stroking their own willies, don't they? Like giving their little willy a little wiggle. Wiggling their willy about. In front of a mirror. Going, whoa, look at it go. Well, I mean, I do anyway. We all do a bit of that, don't we? Masturbate in front of a mirror going, woohoo! Yee! Yippee! That's what I do. My current thing is Japanese maid service videos. Pornographic ones, obviously. I mean, obviously. So expect there might be some maid content coming up sometime soon. Not certainly, but yeah, it might. Oh, I might draw some maid outfits. So I sit and I jerk off to Japanese maid service videos while looking in the mirror going, yo! Exclusively making Mario noises. Yes! 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 I can't do Yoshi. I do Link noises from Zelda. While I'm waggling my willy about. It's really fun. You should all give it a go if you don't already. I'm assuming most of you do. If you're watching this, you're probably the sort of person who does that. And I think the bulk of people who watch my podcast are, sadly, males. Not sadly because I want necessarily more women to watch, but sadly because they're probably sad for being men. Because why wouldn't you be? Now, all of this... The problem with everything I'm saying right now is it is far and away more entertaining than the things I do have that I was going to talk about. So... I don't really know how to pass that subject or whatever the fucking phrasing would be. See, because I'm not actually only going to talk about one thing. There's two things, right? Two things that I had experienced. Two different pieces of media that I've experienced in this past week that I'll mention because they're sort of kind of things I have spoken about before, kind of things that hold my interest, and the kind of things that maybe some other people might be interested in. If they're into this shit, then they might be. And so it might be, I wouldn't say valuable, but it might be worth the time spent to talk about the things that I have, the pieces of media that I that I had. So I played the new Skate game. Did you know there's a new Skate game? Skate. It's technically Skate 4, but it's just called Skate, which is a little bit. You know, and they sort of have kind of reinvented it in quite a few ways. They have reinvented the Skate, not necessarily for Skate. Is a series of skateboarding games. Blue Tony Hawk's. Not like that. Come on, not everything's a knob joke. Actually, everything isn't. Ewan. Everything underlined. Everything is a knob joke. It blew Tony Hawk's series of skateboarding games out of the fucking water. Just Tony Hawk's put out, I think it was Project 8 around that time. It was trying a few different things, some motion capture stuff. Skate came along almost out of nowhere and just fucking destroyed the entire series of Tony Hawk's games. It was a whole nother level of skateboard video gaming experience. It really, really was. I've spoken about the skate games before. Sam and myself very much enjoy them. We spend ridiculous amount of hours just sitting playing them and talk, because it's a good, like, because Sam and I like to talk, and it's good and sometimes easier to be like doing something while you're talking, because you don't just want to sit there talking. But it's good to have like a focal point whilst talking. So we have good conversations in the car when we're driving, because that's a good sort of, the focus is on going to a place or whatever, or just driving around for fun, which we also do, which is good. And also playing skate. It's good. It's good. I enjoy it. It's good. And so the skate games are not. I'm not going to say like they're important to me. They hold a place in my heart, but they're good. There's some good times came from them ever since college, because they're pretty old now. And that's the thing. People have been yammering and clamouring for a new skate game for years and years, and then I think at one point EA were just straight up like, no, we're not doing those anymore. And then other games started coming out, like Skater XL and at least one other one. Maybe a couple more. And I think EA eventually realised, like, oh, people actually want a new skate game. Therefore, we can get money out of them if we make one, so let's do that. And didn't they just do that? Now, when I say, and didn't they just do that, I don't mean, didn't they just go ahead and make a new skate game? Wow. What they did was, didn't they just do that? They went ahead and really, really put the effort in to get as much fucking money out of people's pockets as they possibly can. See, the new skate game, Skate 4 technically, but just called Skate, is free. You can go and just for free. That's why I downloaded it on my Xbox for free. Normally I go to Sam's to play new games because he buys shit. But this one was totally free, available on my Xbox, so I got it for free on my Xbox for free. How can a game just be released for free? Well, it's it's microtransactions, isn't it? Now, this is one of the main criticisms I heard about the new skate game, which I have now seen is absolutely valid and true as far as criticisms go, is that it's a little bit, in terms of like the graphics, it's a little bit cartoonier than the originals, which were realistic in terms of like how they look and how they approach the game and skateboarding and the culture at large. They're pretty realistic looking. But this one is a little bit cartoonier, and some people have said, and I'd agree quite rightly, it has a sort of kind of Fortnite feel to it. The game Fortnite, that's a thing the kids play apparently. And yeah, that absolutely is the case. It feels, the characters look a bit more cartoony in terms of their proportions and their facial structures and stuff. They feel a bit more plasticky. They don't feel quite as sort of rugged and real as they did. This game also doesn't have any pro skaters involved actively as the old ones did. Not that I'm aware of anyway. Because the old ones were full of, like, just as the Tony Hawk's games were, loads and loads of pro skaters that you could see in the game, interact with in the game, even skateboard as in the game or whatever. But this one, it's all just create your own skater, create you, and then pay money to customize them. That seems to be the whole thing. So I've been playing it for a few days, and I really genuinely wanted to like it. I wanted to really, like, I knew I wasn't going to love it, but I wanted to give it as much like benefit of the doubt as I possibly could. I wanted to like the new skate game. But so far, overall, I think, while I don't hate it, I don't despise it. I despise aspects of it, but overall, I'm not really into it, which is a shame because I did really want to be. So the main thing is penis. Yeah, if you want to customize your character in terms of clothing, your skateboard, accessories and whatever in any way, you have to pay. There are, if you do challenges in the game, own the spots, do the tricks, do the line, collect the things, you'll get one version of the in-game fucking Mickey Mouse dollars or whatever it is they have. And if you get enough of those, you can unlock free loot boxes, which each give you one random item. And it's literally been like, I spend however long, doing missions, tasks, things, whatever. And then I get a box and I unlock an orange t-shirt, a sticker for my board, a different grip tape, white shoes, green socks, wow. And I just, that's really, is that it? But if you want like actual good stuff that you can choose, you have to spend real world money on the actual in-game fucking Disney dollars that they have. They've got like in-game names for them. The ones you can get for free are called like rip tickets or some shit. I don't even remember. It's just so dumb and annoying. Yeah, if you want to buy a specific shirt or a hat or a bundle, there'll be different sponsors will have bundles, so presumably you can buy like a whole set of like hoodie, t-shirt, board, all from one sponsor for only 25 real world dollars. Like, you have to actually pay. And this is stuff that just in any older skate game would just, it would be there. You'd have to like unlock them throughout the game as you play, but they'd just be there. But now you have to buy all this shit, which is just fucking just. And that's ultimately the game to me feels like, even right from the start, it feels like they are marketing towards the Fortnite generation. Like it feels like a skate game that's been remade for kids to try and get all of their money specifically. I'm able to enjoy it in some kind of way, in a way that I'm fortunate because I never once have given a piss about like character customization or anything. Like if it's skate, I'll just, like my character in this new skate game has just, I got a free grey sweater, so I'll put that on. some shorts and whatever sneakers, and that's fine because I just want to skate around. I don't give a fuck about doing big jumps or gaps or stunts or getting all the tasks and the missions completed. I just want to fucking skate around, and so I don't care if I'm wearing particularly great clothes. A sweater and a pair of shorts and some sneakers is completely fine for me. Blank skateboard deck, that's fine. I prefer that in real life. You'd think, oh, Ewan's an artist, he's gonna have a crazy, wicked, wild skate deck that he's gonna rip on, but no, I couldn't give a toss about that shit. It doesn't interest me in any way. Plus, if it's a skate deck, it's like it's going to get, sort of torn and shredded up anyway. So it almost makes more sense to not have some cool design on the bottom of your skateboard because it's just going to get fucked. And so in this game, and also like in Fallout and stuff, Fallout 76, I can compare it to because this new skate game is also online, so there's loads of other skaters going around, and you see they're in some wacky costumes they've probably paid money for, or maybe won from things, I don't know, and they're all off doing their own thing. But like in Fallout 76 is an online game, I don't care about interacting with other people playing. I don't care about my character customization. In Fallout 76, I'll just run around in a jacket and jeans with a backpack for the carry weight, a gas mask, because some areas it's better to have a gas mask in the game. But ultimately, I don't give a shit what my character looks like. I'm there to play a new bit of Fallout, some new Fallout content, just a bit. Run around in a post-apocalypse, surviving, shooting some stuff, whatever. That's it. It's so rare, unless I'm doing like in Fallout 4 or something, like a specific character-based playthrough. I did a Blade Runner one recently, that was quite fun. I made like a Deckard character like from Blade Runner, and I went around dispatching, killing synthetic people like in Blade Runner, because that's what he does in Blade Runner, and I was doing that in Fallout. It was cool. But in general, and like, because that's how I approach character design. I'm segueing into a planned bit here. Like if I design characters for things, that's how I approach designing characters and things. So wait, would it be helpful to show you some examples? Do you want some examples? Alright, hang on, give me a second. I'll see, I've got this bit planned. I've got some examples that I'm gonna show you because I planned this little bit. Sometimes I plan ahead. Sometimes I just plan a thing to talk about, but sometimes I actually put effort into shit. Sometimes, would you believe? So right, this is how I design characters. If somebody says we need a character for this comic, this game, it's got to be like just, some like hero type main character. That's how I design him. Person. Here you go, here's person character. Done. Which is basically what my character in the new skate game is. Just sweater, just person. And this also is like if I draw just a silly little comic, just a funny, silly little gimmicky comic, whatever, put it on Instagram, just telling a joke, just in a comic form, just a quick little thing. That's how I design the characters in that comic, because they are just people to put the point across, to tell the story. And some people will say, oh, is that you in the comic? And it's like it's a stand-in for me telling a story, but it's not really me. But in a way, it's me if I was a character designed by me and I'm just Guy. This is how I design characters. But it does go further than that, because then there's the adventurer. If I'm designing a fantasy game and I need an adventurer character with a sword, then that's how I design the adventurer character. But what if it's a space game and you need a space cadet character? Then you see he's got a space helmet. There you go. This is why I can't be a concept artist, because this is essentially, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but this is essentially how I approach character design. Oh, look, he's a space cadet. Oh, it's the bad version of the main character. It's his nemesis, the antagonist of the piece. Oh, he's a bad, and then a wrong un. Oh, it's skull there. He looks mean, doesn't he? Oh, character design. Look how many elements he's got. He's got not just the frowny face that's changed, but also that's a whole extra element of the skull on the shirt. The girl character, maybe a love interest, maybe, you know, an alternate skin of a video game character, if you want to go that gender way or whatever. Tits and hair, that's, you know, characters. And an alien character. We designed it. See, I could be a concept artist for aliens. We need to come up with some alien designs, Ewan. There you go. Look at that. Oh, it's so alien. It's so not what you're used to seeing on Earth. I mean, this kind of thing exists on Earth, but look how alien it is. So that's how that's that bit over. That's that funny bit done with now. You can all go back to your homes now that bit's over. That's why one benefit I have personally with playing this new skate game is I am, in essence, immune to microtransactions, because it comes up and it says, oh, you can go to the store and you can purchase new shit. You unlocked a new box. Go get your new gear and see how it is. And all that. And I just don't give a shit. I just don't fucking care. It doesn't affect me 1 ounce. It's not something I have any interest in whatsoever. And then, you know, you complete a series of tasks and it goes, the screen pops up, congratulations, you've unlocked thing. And it's literally like purple shorts, flame sticker for your board, white grip tape. Wow. Press this to equip them right now. And I don't, because I don't care. I'm happy to skate around for free. I'm happy to download the game for free and just skate around, because that's all I want to do. Also, fuck them for using microtransactions. For people waiting this long, I don't even know how, over a decade for a new skate game, for them to make it free to play, but all microtransactions. It's just such a fucking... almost a middle finger to like the actual people who like love and respect skateboarding and skate culture and have loved the skate games in the past. Like, oh hey, you like the skate games? There's a new one. Everything has to be paid for if you want to actually enjoy it. If that's how you enjoy those games. Oh, you want to make a version of yourself wearing your clothes? Sure, you can do that. Absolutely. Just pay £25 for this set of gear. It's kind of sickening, and that's another reason. Fuck am I trying to say? Why I will only play the free version, because that's all they're getting out of me. They're not getting me spending even a penny on microtransactions. Out of me, I've downloaded the game. That's all they're going to get from me. I'm not spending money on microtransactions. I'm not purchasing fucking loot boxes, grab bags, sets of shit. I don't care. You can stick up your ass like a big cock. I am also aware that, again, I think it was last week, I was like, oh, I want to look at Mike Mignola's book some more, because I have it and I barely even look at it. So I fucking look at it. And I looked at like a few pages, said some shit, and then didn't really look at it. So, nothing. I just wanted to acknowledge that I'm aware. That episode was a bit all over the place. I didn't even mean to go on about the Bible so fucking much, but it's so incensed by these goddamn church fuckers, people who literally have sex with churches. They fuck them. They put their knob right in the fucking pulpit. That's what it's the pulpit is called that because it's a pit. You put your knob in and it pulls on your knob. It's the pulpit. You put your penis in the pulpit and it pulls your fucking pecker. That's why Peter Piper was Catholic, because he'd go to the pulpit to pick peckers, because Peter Piper picked a pulpit piled with penis peckers. So completely separate from that, I'm looking at the art of Skyrim today, because I just want to see if I can get any sort of last minute ideas that I can steal from here for the Gun Viking Minotaur comic. Nothing major, but just maybe there's little like environmental things I can pinch, go, oh, I should put torches on the walls. I haven't got any torches on the walls. I've got weapons which don't really glow, but they do have sort of a warmer tone to them, as opposed to the walls of the labyrinth in which the Minotaur exists. So they almost give an effect of like torches on the walls. Sconces. I don't have any sconces or braziers. No fucking... There's not a lot going on. I've got some pots. There's some pots and vases and jugs in the labyrinth, and some weapons on the walls and shields and such. There are details I'm planning to add. I think I'm going to go through the pages I've got done already, or maybe when all the pages are done, I'll go through and add some. I want to add in like some rats and maybe lizards and things, just a few extra little details. Because if I'm going to have the thing be a mere 8 pages long, I think they not necessarily has to have detail in it if it's only going to be 1 picture per page. But if it's only going to be 1 picture per page, then, you know, put a little bit some details in there. But then some of them, the environment isn't necessarily the point, because there are a couple of a few pages of it which are like action poses, things happening, and I don't want it to be a thing happening with loads of tiny little carefully crafted details around it. I want it to be just a sort of a blur while this big thing is happening, big action scene. Love the designs of these houses and buildings and such in Windhelm, the Windhelm Castle and things. Are so good. That's like Mignola and his wibbly wobbly hickledy pickledy run-down stone buildings and things, isn't it? Very interesting to look at, and that's what we want. Well, it's not always a matter of having to be interesting to look at. Dwarven cities are very interesting. This is quite sort of labyrinthian, isn't it? The Dwarven Dwemer architecture and such lends itself very well to sort of a labyrinth kind of setting, which, you know, might inhabit like a Minotaur or something. It's almost annoying because Skyrim has so many elements that are like would fit well to do, like, to have a part of it at least be like a labyrinth, and there's a Minotaur in there somewhere, and you find him before he finds you or you're fucked. Because there even is, like, there's a labyrinth in the game, in the area called Labyrinthia or whatever. And I believe it is a labyrinth, because I think a labyrinth has one specific way around it, but it's just confusing and there's a lot of it, but there's only one way around. Whereas a maze has different offshoots and potentially different ways to get to the same place, or it might be the other way around. It might be a labyrinth. A maze has confusing routes, but there's only one true route. But a labyrinth is the opposite. It's one or the other. But I think no, I think a labyrinth is where there's just one true route, because the labyrinth, or it might even be a maze in, I don't know. The one in Skyrim, there's only one route around it. It's just like a confusing spiral. These areas are really, really nice to look at as well. Old crumbling stone walls and things. Stairs that go all over the place. We love a Nordic ruin. I thought a cool thing to do in Skyrim would, because all the Nordic ruins look fucking ancient. Everything's collapsing and dead and old, obviously. I thought it would be cool if there was one Nordic ruin within Skyrim that you go to expecting it's going to be like all the others, but it looks as if it's freshly built, like it's brand new. Everything's shiny and glistening. There's no cobwebs. Everything's brand new. Because it would be such a jolt to go into that area and be like, oh shit, everything's new. And there's no Draugr in there. There's actual like ancient Nords walking around like, who are you, outsider? Ooh, a bird. Come, drink with us. I don't know why he sounded like a fucking vampire. Drink with us. I want to suck your cock. Moss and greenery would be a good thing to put in my labyrinth. Some vines creeping up the walls and stuff. That might be the kind of level of detail that's just a little bit too detailed. Maybe a little bit too time consuming. But also, colour-wise, it might be a start to get a little bit too much colour, because I want the colours to be very specifically divided. And if there's like patches of green here and there, I'm not sure that will quite fit into the theme. Carvings, runes, and wall carvings would be a good thing to throw in. I did think one detail I want to put in, because throughout my Gun Viking comics, I'd put on walls and things, even on like cliff sides and mountains, like graffiti, throw ups and tags and things, just because I thought it would look cool, and it does. It looks very, very cool. And that's one thing that I oddly haven't put into any recent Gun Viking stuff, because there hasn't really been a place for it. But I realised the labyrinth is almost the perfect place, because it's all walls, stone walls. So it would be cool to not necessarily cover them in graffiti, but put graffiti in the labyrinth. So that's one thing I might do, which isn't directly runic carvings or anything, but it does relate in some kind of way. And that's one thing which I did debate doing, was trying to do more differentiation in the lighting in the labyrinth in the comic. But then again, it's only 8 pages, and I didn't know if it would be weird if like a couple of pages were darker with just like a spotlight and some pages were more well lit. So I have it fairly evenly lit the whole way through, just because it's easier to paint and draw like that. The end. These are good. I like little bits like this. It's interesting to see little details like this of items and things within the spaces. Because that's like, yeah, I've got jars and vases and shit. So it's good to see these things. And I could have some plinths. I could stick a couple of plinths. There's not much room in each page. There's not a lot of room in my comic for like real decoration within the labyrinth spaces, whilst the fight between Gunviking and the Minotaur is happening. I might be able to sort of suggest something off to the side, but then it's like it just becomes an abstract shape rather than a real sort of like decorative element. So it's a bit of a tricky one. Statues are another one. I thought about having one or two statues, even small ones, or like in the background somewhere, but again, can't quite fit them in. So I'm having to sort of balance what would be cool to put in versus what realistically works and what would just take away from, you know, the comic as a whole. And I use the word comic loosely because it's very vaguely a comic. Creatures. We're getting into character design. This is where I excel. This is what I'm best at. If I was designing dragons, it'd just be 8 different coloured lizards, which would just be a frog drawn with a tail. Like when a tadpole gets legs before it loses its tail, it would be that in several different colours. Maybe 1 or 2 would have horns and the others wouldn't. It'd be, there you go, there's your dragons, dragon designs. And they'd say, what are you doing here, Ewan? We told you, we haven't hired you, get out, stop trying to show us your work. We will call the police. Is it Jonah Loeb? I think the guy who designed like a lot of the creatures and stuff in Skyrim and Fallout 4 and such, and 3, I think. Yeah, his work's... Well, he's pretty good, isn't he? Pretty good at the old drawings and shit. God, that's nice. That's a good image. That's just Skyrim, really, isn't it? The Nord in the snow. There's a bear! Oh, shit! I thought this was a tentacle at first. I thought, like, oh no, there's a bear and a fucking octopus thing. But it's not. It's like an arch or something. Oh, this is interesting. It looks like at one point they were going to have, I guess, the Falmer riding on the Chauruses. That is an interesting little concept detail. Elementals are always fun. Of course, they call them Atronachs in the Elder Scrolls, but... Oh, there's some good design work, man. Like, that's something I'm not sure... I mean, I probably could if you gave me time to do it, but to come up with, like, a consistent set of armour for one group of peoples and then another set of armour completely, like, stylistically different but consistent with that separate people. Yeah, it's a difficult thing. Like to make all the dwarven shit look dwarven and all the elven shit look elvish or elven or whatever, and to have that look different from the Nordic stuff, etc., etc. It's not an easy thing to do. But I guess that's the difference between actual good concept artists and not that, which is probably the category I'd fall into. The Dwemer shit is cool. Clockwork, beasts and things. Steam-powered shit. The Falmer are cool. And I like that they're a type of elf that went underground and eventually became blind and pale and awful. Sexy, sexy Spriggans. And I love that as well, that like Spriggans and the Flame Atronach are just like sexy women made of whatever elements they're made of. It's funny. I think it's funny. Hag ravens are cool. I feel like it would be cool if there were like a few different varieties of hag raven that got more and more raven-like. So this the actual one in the game is fairly human, but it's got like these clawed feet and hands, and feathers and stuff. But it would be cool if there was one that was like more of a hybrid in the face and stuff. It looked a bit more crow-like and had more feathers, and then one like this, like an arch hag raven that was so bird-like with almost no human features whatsoever. But maybe that would be a bit much. I don't fucking know. I'm not a game designer, am I? I'm a gay designer. What a game design. I like that there's walruses in the game. Like there's bears, wolves, chickens. There are animals in the game. Mammoths. I like that there's mammoths. But I also like that there's walruses, but they've just got like 3 tusks going on. Just a walrus. Just because fucking why not? Weapons, I think, is something I could pay attention to. Because those are in my comics labyrinth, where I have weapons on the walls. But they're so like... almost as if a child drew them. Just like draw a sword, and it's the most basic shape of a sword. Like this, but even less style to it. And same with an axe. Basic shape of an axe, and they're like gold brass-ish in colour. And there's not really much in terms of like style to them, or design even. I mean, they don't require that, because within the context of the comic, it's literally just a weapon on the wall. That's all I need to show that there are weapons on the walls. They don't need to be like ridiculously stylized, but I could put some effort, even a small amount of effort, into like the design of the weapons on the walls, the shields. I have a shield with like a smiley face on it, like a toothy evil grin on it, which that's a cool detail to put in there. That didn't need to be there, but it's cool that it's there. Some pages in general are more detailed than others, where I can be bothered to take the time to do it. But yeah, I think it would be worth me taking some notes from these. Maybe just sit and draw all of these weapons on a couple of sketchbook pages, just to fill my brain with different weapon designs that I can then sort of adapt and use. Steal the ideas from people who have already done it better than I have. And that's the mark of a real designer, artist, guy, whatever. You'll not see a penny out of me, you greedy, thieving cunts. Puh, puh, puh. Like I said, I'm going to talk about the one subject for the most of this episode. It started off not too well. It started off, sign in to do this, accept the user agreement, click on this to sync your accounts, don't forget to do this, hey, make sure you're signed into you want to be able to be signed in here so you can make purchases on it, don't forget to link your email address to the... Fucking half an hour before I can even start playing. But then, right, so the character creation I was genuinely kind of impressed with. Like, it's not hugely expansive or whatever, but like, for instance, well, there's a bunch of options, and it's very sort of well editable, and I think that's the main thing they want, is to like have people be able to make as specific a version of like themselves as possible, or whatever it is they're after. But for instance, you can be very much gender non-conforming, which I respect and appreciate. You can have like typically female features, but a male voice. You can have the opposite. You can have a male body and a female voice, male, female, whatever. Or your facial structure can look sort of old, young, male, female. You can increase boob and bum size specifically, which is a bit odd. Like, I don't know why that's necessary, but I guess cool, fine, whatever. Sure, go ahead, do that. So yeah, when it came to character creation, I was like, oh, okay, cool. That's not bad. I think that's quite as far as like when you start playing a new game and that's the character creation. Then okay, that's quite cool. I made a lady character because I don't care. It's fucking whatever. Just before you're all thinking, oh, did I make me with my bald head and beard? Just in case you're unaware, I despise myself. I don't really like playing a video game and look at me. That's not why I play video games. I play video games, if anything, to escape reality. To play a game, not to play me. Look, I'm in Fallout. I'm surviving in Fallout. Because if I was playing me in Fallout, I wouldn't do anything. I'd hide in one room until I died from malnutrition, from starvation, because I didn't leave my house to get supplies and tinned ham or whatever. Spam, cram, whatever. I'd be like, oh no, there's raiders coming. Oh, alright, I'll just let them shoot me in the head. I don't care. They can have all my supplies and kill me. I don't give a shit. Fucking whatever. That would be me in a survival situation like that. So no, I don't play me in video games. I play person. I play generic person in video game. That's all I require. Anyway, so I was mildly impressed, but that was all dashed because if it's the first skate game you've played, sure, but like the controls are not as fluid or intuitive feeling as the original, or at least Skate 3, the last one I would have played. It just doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel as natural. Everything's sort of like a bit floaty, a bit loose, a bit glitchy almost. You can climb. That's one benefit to this game, I will say. You can climb like almost parkour style. Literally, there are challenges that are made where you're supposed to do. You have to scale buildings to get to a skate park on a roof or whatever, which is cool. I really like that. Again, it's a little bit more cartoony, video gamey than I would really ideally like. Like, rather than, if there's a skate park on top of this building, so you go to the building, I don't know, maybe there's an elevator you access, you press the elevator button and it like teleports you up there with a loading screen. That would be the typical sort of thing. But this is you literally climb like parkour style, jump up ledges to climb an entire building to skate on the roof, which I don't hate. And I know the skate game, I was going to say Skate 3, whatever, the skate games had their moments of non-realism. But this, it does sort of take it to a slightly higher level of cartoonishness, which I think the younger generation, people who may have not played skate games previously, might appreciate and enjoy that. I don't know. And it's not the worst thing in the world. And I will continue to play the game until I get sick or bored enough of it. For now, at least. I don't hate it. It's just when you've been excited or anticipating, hoping for a new skate game for so long, and one finally comes out, and when it does, it's cartoonish, it's pandering to a very different audience than the originals. It doesn't have the same feel or vibe. It's all microtransactions. It's hard to really genuinely get behind it. You know. Look at the ass on this guy. Oh, he's got some cheeks, hasn't he? He's got cheeks of fucking iron. Oh, you could probably burst a cock with those fucking cheeks. Whoa. 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 And that's pretty much the aim of this piece that I'm painting currently. See, I'm working on my, my Gun Viking versus the old Minotaur comic, aren't I? I'm making some real progress. I'm more than halfway done with it so far. This, I think, is going to be the back cover which I think is quite smart, quite cool. So the front cover, it's not a direct, like the front cover is one image and then the back cover is a reverse of that image, which I could do. It might kind of work like that in a way, but it's not exactly what I'm going for. But it kind of works that way in a way, sort of, without me trying for it to be that. But ultimately, I just thought it would be cool to have the Minotaur from behind with like buns of steel under his loincloth. Just because I think that would be... And I don't think in the comic there would be any parts where I'm really showing the Minotaur from behind. So I think it's quite a cool thing just to get that view of him. So here's the front cover. I need to adjust a couple of little bits, but that's basically the front cover. And it will say Gun Viking and the Minotaur. And then I know some shit here. And that'll be the front cover. And so, yeah, front cover, you see like, oh, he's mysterious. And then if that's the back cover, see, it kind of works. Obviously, haven't drawn Gun Viking in there, but you can kind of see where Gun Viking might be about here. And then it's the reverse almost, but not quite, but almost, but it's not really, but it kind of could be, but it's not what I intended, but it might be that inadvertently. So but ultimately, I think that would just be quite a good back cover. Plus, it's a back cover, and it's literally his back, and his back is covered slightly. And it will say, like, 2025, Ewan the Poohan, or some shit, I don't know, whatever. I think that's cool. And also, what I like, so that's the front cover. Then you'll open it up, and there'll be an inside front cover, which I've devised something for. I just need to draw it. I think it's going to be quite cool. It will have a little like introductory bit of text to explain what the fuck it is that you're holding, that you're looking at. It's the 10th anniversary of the blah blah blah. He didn't do it. There's a Minotaur. Oh my god! And then the first page will be here, which is this. This is page 1. The Minotaur coming forth, fucking jizzing everywhere like a fucking bull. And Gun Viking being like, oh shit, what the fuck? If you look at that, look. See, he's like hiding in the shadows. Gun Viking's looking around like, what's going on? Where is he? What the fuck's going on, you cave? And then, whoa, there he is. He's revealed on page 1. So you'll open it up and it will literally be like this. The cover, Gun Viking and the Minotaur. And then you'll open it up and you'll see that will be the first thing you see. Because you look here first and then you'll check this bit out. So you'll see that. You're like, oh, dark red eyes and and then the reveal. It's a Minotaur and it looks fucking cool. And I like the composition and the energy and the colours and everything on this page. I think that's really, really good. And it sort of gives a good sense of what's going to be coming over the next several pages. So I'm happy with that. And then you'll look here and this will give you information on what the fuck you're looking at. And then more pages of whatever. And then the back cover. This guy and his fucking ass! His ass! This guy and his ass! Hanging out. Whoa. It is going to be 8 pages. I had sort of speculated that it might be maybe 10, maybe 12 pages. But it is almost certainly going to be 8 pages of actual comic. Plus, but the inside front cover will have almost like a prologue, like an intro to what you're looking at. And then the inside back cover will have almost like an epilogue, like an after the fact. What happened just after the interaction between Gun Viking and the Minotaur. And then the back cover. So it's... And the front cover leads into the first page. And it kind of mirrors or is the opposite of the back cover. So in a way, every bit of it is part of it. Even though it's only technically 8 pages long, the rest of it is it's all... You get it. It's very smart is what it is. It's very clever. I'm very intelligent for how I'm putting this all together. It's what I'm trying to get across. Aren't I good? Aren't I bloody brilliant and creative? Funny, sexy, weird looking, depending on what time of day you see me, I guess. Not to mention a duck. that's random. That's an Ed, and Eddie reference. Not to mention a duck. Oh, classic. I didn't mean that in a sarcastic way. I mean, Ed, and Eddie are fucking the best. So the other piece of media, right, that's all my Skate stuff. So Skate, the new Skate, I don't love it. I don't hate it. I don't even like it. I just don't hate it. I'm not gonna. Well, I hate aspects of it. The microtransactions, the fact that it's not what I wanted it to be. It's not what I was hoping for, and I don't hate it yet. Maybe if I play it a bit more, I will. But that was my review of the new Skate game. Now, the other piece of media I had seen recently was the Ed Gein show on Netflix. So there was the Dharma one. That was a big, controversial, and rightly so, because it did absolutely glorify and even sexify, or sexualize, I guess would be the word, Jeffrey Dahmer. And that's terrible. Especially since, families of people who Jeffrey Dahmer murdered are still alive today. And then this show comes up and it makes Dahmer look very handsome and well built and viably, sexual or whatever. Which is not great, really. It's not fantastic that they did that with the TV show. But in terms of a TV show, the Dharma one, it was pretty good. It wasn't the best, but it was pretty good. And then there was another one in that series, Monsters of the something brothers or something. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to it. But then this Ed Gein one. Now, some of you may know, I'm quite a fan of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'd go as far as to say it's one of my all-time favourite films of all time. For various reasons. There's podcast episodes exist where I talk about how I watched every Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie in one sitting, which I did. For better or worse, largely worse. Because I like Texas, and it's no secret that, and this is part of, it's in the show, how Texas Chainsaw Massacre was largely inspired by the atrocious acts of Ed Gein. How he chopped people up. I don't think he ever actually used a chainsaw, even though that's shown in the show as well, in the series on Netflix. They show him using a chainsaw, but to my understanding, he never actually used, or there's no evidence that he actually used a chainsaw. But hey, throw one in anyway, because it's cool and it's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But in terms of like using people's skin to make lamps and chairs and shit and whatever else, a bowl out of a skull that he ate all his meals out of, and a bunch of shit. Just a horrible, horrible person doing horrible, horrible things. So I had at least some kind of interest in watching this show because of that, because it's linked to interests I have, and it's part of a larger thing of a thing, and it's sort of, so I watched it all and it was alright. Probably similar to Skate, really. I don't really love it, but I don't hate it. There's aspects of it I hate. There's aspects of the Gein show that I dislike. For one thing, they make, like, the actor who plays him is very, very handsome, very, very well built, and you see him basically, you do see him entirely naked a few times. An insanely well built body, very attractive man, and that's not to say Ed Gein wasn't that, but Ed Gein was a weird little looking fella, and there's no way he was as well built physically as this actor. Also, I think the actor's quite tall, and Ed Gein was like a short little, like 5'6", 5'7" little fucking weirdo. And so to see this really tall actor playing him, like towering over some of his co-stars, it's just like, come on, that's not... Like, couldn't you find just some weird-looking guy to play Ed Gein? Yeah. But, yeah, fucking Hollywood, Netflix, whatever, they do what they do, don't they? Regardless of who it affects or how good it actually is. And I know there's a lot of inaccuracies in terms of the storytelling. They added a lot in, like a chainsaw. And you expect that. You know that's going to happen because of the nature of things. But then there are scenes towards the end, like literally right at the end, where it's showing the end of his life and stuff, where it talks about how, many other killers and such were directly inspired by, or claimed to be directly inspired by Ed Gein. And then they have those killers, like, in Ed Gein's mind, they're actively coming up to him, telling him how much they adore him and his work. And it's just, why would you put that in the show? It's just with 80s music playing, and was it Owner of a Lonely Heart playing while that's all going on, as he's dying, as he's going towards the light. There's like a disco scene, like almost a literal disco, and I'm not exaggerating. There's almost a literal disco scene in the Ed Gein show with Owner of a Lonely Heart playing while he's sort of moving towards the light as he's dying at the end of his life. And it's just like, who had that? Whose decision was that? Also, the show's really, like, it's eight episodes, about an hour long each, like effectively 8 hours of show. It feels really long. I think I was like 4 episodes in and I was like, oh Christ, it must be almost done now. And then it's like, nope, halfway. Like, Jesus. And I feel like it could have been half the length easily, but again, it's not how they work. That's not what they're going to do. I don't know. It's just one of those things. They could have made it a better show than it was, but that's how it always is with everything ever, isn't it? Could have been better, but wasn't. Not that I expected much from a show about some fucking freak called Ed Gein. Oh, but he was mentally troubled and, it's not his fault. I'm mentally troubled. I don't go around cutting people up and turning their skin into furniture. Just saying. I know I have different mental troubles to Ed Gein, clearly. But I'm just saying. A lot of people deal with a lot of problems and they don't all go around fucking doing that shit. One thing I can get behind is his love of wearing, in the show at least, again, I don't know the details in terms of the realism of this, but his love for wearing women's underwear. I'm not adverse to that. I can get behind that. I got some pictures of me in some feminine articles of underwear. Certainly back in the day I'd look quite good in certain things like that. Fucking, yeah. If you're into it, it's fucking... So there's elements to the show like that I can get behind, and I can say, yeah. And of course, you're watching a very attractive man look very good in some ladies' lingerie or whatever. And like, sure, he's going to look good in it. Of course. Doesn't say much for the rest of us, does it? Ultimately, I think, I came away from that show feeling a bit underwhelmed. I took the time to watch the whole thing, and it was kind of bleh, ultimately, which is a shame. Because if you're going to spend 8 hours watching a thing, you kind of hope that, like, you'd feel like it was worth 8 hours. Not that I don't feel like it was worth the time I spent watching it, but I think it could have been more worthwhile. Maybe I should just watch better shit. I shouldn't waste 8 hours watching. Like, if a show is about Ed Gein, how good can it really be? How good can it really be? Come on. And that was that was the media I've partooken in this past week. My thoughts on it, my reviews of the new skate game and the Ed Gein show. And a Minotaur's juicy ass. I feel like, right, so I'm using, this is my reference picture based on shit. I have a colour photocopy. Based on this drawing, because I liked this drawing of the Minotaur I did, which wasn't intended to be directly used for my comic, but ended up being the sole inspiration for how I want my Minotaur to kind of look within the comic. So based on that, I painted this to use as a reference image. So whenever I'm in my head, well, if I'm painting or working on a page and I'm thinking, oh shit, wait, how should he look? How should my Minotaur look? This is generally what I go by, and you can see here, you know, it's sort of... And I tried to keep in like the different colours, the pinks, greens, blues, purples, here and there. And I don't want them to always be in the same place. So I want them to like, almost like he's iridescent. Not quite, but almost like that. Like he's oily and the colours sort of move around his body. So that's kind of what I'm going for. So with this, I'm thinking like, should I put some bits of green and stuff in here and there? But then for the back cover, I'm thinking maybe not. Maybe I should keep the colours just like this, really. Maybe that'd work best for that. Perhaps. I'll see if I can do a little bit of it now. There's a lot of gaps. There's going to be a lot of shadow on this, so the arms here will be largely in shadow. The undercarriage is here, and then the backer bits of the legs will be in shadow, and then this sort of under part here. So it might not look as largely detailed as you might think it ought to, but that's because we are shadowing parts of it out. And that will it will sort of be sort of shadow here, shadow there. It will fit in visually in the layout of the whole bit of the thing of the bit. It will all... Oh, this might be too dark even. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I might have gone too shadowy. Ooh, I'll make it work. It's fine. I'll make it work. It's fine. I'll make it work. It's fine. I will make it work. It's fine. Don't even worry about it.